Hello YouTube, this is Tonstead39. Me and my mother on the drive home, we had a little talk. You know, my mother works with kids and they were on a field trip to the missions. And so, as she was exploring the missions, she learned about the very genocidal history. What do I mean by that? Well, when the Spanish settled here in California back in the 1600s, they bartered with the native Ohlone tribes in what is unfortunately now California. And they said to them that basically, you can stay in our, we have glass beads, we have horses, we have all this stuff. And they accepted it. And then they set up the missions. And they said, oh, well, you can live in the missions and we'll provide good care for you. And some native and some Ohlone chose to go in. And some Ohlone chose to go into the missions. And it was alright. But the Ohlone people were predominantly hunter-gatherers. Which basically means that if, say, your shaman or your hunter or your tradesman was away, then the village couldn't function. So more more Ohlone came to, the missions to live. But really, the conditions there were horrible. It was pretty much tantamount to the Nazi concentration camps, except not as many. Basically, if you didn't work, you didn't get food, and you didn't get that many blankets. And that was the gist. And so they killed off a lot of Ohlone through that. And so, they now didn't have any tribal lands, they were forced to practice Christianity, and third most, they were mass slaughtered and put to death inside those missions. So next time you see the Santa Cruz mission, San Juan Bautista, San Francisco mission, the Monterey mission here in what is unfortunately California, those aren't churches like what I thought when I went to that place in 4th grade. Those were basically the Native American equivalent of a concentration camp. And the prairie Native Americans, the Sioux, the Iowa, the Chickasaw, they had it better because at least, yeah, they were getting pushed off their land, but at least they still had a place to worship their animistic religion. They still had land, whereas the Ohlone had no choice. They had to go, otherwise the village couldn't function. Now, inside the mission, there's these little cells, and there's 2 beds and 5 families living in this one little room. Yes. And this is in what is unfortunately California, mind you. And what makes this really unfortunate to me, and what brings this home to me, is that I'm white and American, and I feel guilt over my people. Yes, these people were of different ethnic groups than me, but the reason why America is so artificially diverse and yet cultureless is because we eradicated their culture. We took their culture. Yes, the legacy still lives on in state names and artwork and whatnot, but now they're just shunted off on reservations.